Everything here is connected. We got Scooby-Doo. We even got the Nickelodeon universe. We got Simpsons. We got all this random stuff. It's all connected into one single universe. I can explain everything. We start off pretty tame at the top of the board with Jessie. Everyone knows Jessie from the famous Disney Channel. Well, it has a crossover with Good Luck Charlie called Good Luck Jessie New York Christmas. And this follows the characters of Good Luck Charlie in New York City, and they're like stuck there because there's a winter storm, a snowstorm that's keeping them there. Okay? And then we have Austin and Allie. Austin and Jessie and Allie. All-Star New Year. This follows Austin going to New York for a party. He's going to a New York party. He's going to perform. And Austin was going to sing one of his own songs. But instead, he meets up with Jessie and the crew. And instead sings one of Zuri's little poems for some reason. I don't know. Jessie has also crossed over with Liv and Maddie in Jessie's Aloha Holidays with Parker and Joey. That episode. And, well, basically, they're in Hawaii and they meet the Roonies on holiday. Which, only two of the Roonies show up in the episode, but Parker and Joey meet up with the Ross kids and they do some shenanigans. Okay. And then they also cross over with Ultimate Spider-Man Web Warriors, which in the episode Halloween Night at the Museum, which is basically like the 9 museum movies, if you've ever seen them. So, yeah. And they were, Jessie found a sword, and the sword was like this villain's thing, like they wanted to acquire the sword. So, Spider-Man had to help Jessie defeat this villain before the villain could defeat Jessie and the crew and get this sword for some reason. Yeah. Okay. With all this Disney stuff right here, there was a small little October Halloween thing that happened, and this aired in October 4th, 2015, and around that era, all these shows right in this general area were in there. Basically, it had Jessie, Liv and Maddie, Best Friends Whenever, Austin Alley, Casey Undercover, I Didn't Do It, Girl Meets World. I'm not sure if Good Luck Charlie was there, but yeah. Basically, Logan Watson and Della Dolfano from I Didn't Do It appears in Jessie, the ghostest with the mostest. Cool. Austin Moon and Allie Dawson from Austin Alley appeared in Girl Meets World. Girl Meets World of Terror 2. So, that connects Austin Alley. And that connects I Didn't Do It with Jessie. Yeah. Trish DeLay-Rose and Des Watson from Austin Alley appear in I Didn't Do It. The Bite Club. Ugh, English. Emma and Zuri Ross from Jessie appeared in Casey Undercover. All Hallows Eve. Okay. Riley Matthews and Lucas Fryer from Girl Meets World appears in Best Friends Whenever. Side and Shelby's Haunted Escape. Right here. And Ernie and Judy Cooper from Casey Undercover appeared in Austin Alley Scary Spirits and Spooky Scores. Casey Undercover with Austin and Alley. Get it going along so far? We're not into the crazy bit yet. Trust me, I know. This is going to get very weird very fast. And lastly, Side Ripple and Shelby Marcus from Best Friends Whenever appeared in Liv and Maddie. Hauntaroonie. Also in Haunteroonie, Liv and Maddie, Austin Ellie wasn't never in there, but it was suggested he was part of the universe by a name, like he was called by name. And this was all part of the Halloween special of Disney called the Monstober Spooktacular Weekend. Basically, Disney would release all these things at once. So then you can watch one after the other, after the other, after the other. And you can be realizing that all these connect and share into the same universe. Which, pretty cool. Okay. Now, Jessie, right here, has crossed over, well, not really crossed over, but, like, Mr. Mosby, however you say it, had a cameo in a Jessie episode called Karate Kid Catastrophe.
Madam, there are less drastic ways to deal with a demagnetized keycard.
Wait, I'm not sure. It was the episode where Emma went into this like thing, and she moved out into some apartment building or something. And Mr. Mosby was just casually there as one of the workers. Now, Sweet Life on Deck is connected to Sweet Life of Zack Cody as a prequel show. And the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody crossover with Hannah Montana, The Wizards of Waverly Place, in a 3-way crossover with all 3 shows, and Wizards on Deck with Hannah Montana. Yes, they did just add with Hannah Montana to include Hannah Montana, which they could have done something better with that, but you know, I would say tried. Then that was the first episode. The second one was double crossed. There was 2. It was a 2-part show, 2-part crossover. Then Sweet Life on Deck. I think I put the rope wrong, but whatever, it's fine. I'm in the band crossover with the Sweet Life on Deck and Weasel on Deck. They went and I guess they performed their music. You're guessing how Raven, that's where Raven connects. Now, they connected in the episode That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana. And, yes, Hannah Montana was there. But, you know, Hannah Montana. So, all 3 shows are connected through the same crossover. That's a Raven, Hannah Montana, and The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody all crossed over in 1 episode. And, yeah, that was about it. Okay. Now, we're into the cartoon part of this cinematic universe. Okay? We have That's So Raven. Okay. It crossed over, it has this, another show, like a sequel show, that's, Raven's Home, and they had an episode where they crossed over with Bunked. None of the original cast was there. It's a bubble.
Come on, Ray. What do you say?
All right, we'd be happy to help.
Thank you. With your help, I know we can make this the biggest success ever. Everyone, please check this clipboard for your open house job assignment.
Now Bunked was originally from Jessie for Jessie spinoff, so I guess that connects that better. Then we get to the crazy stuff. That's So Raven right here. They share, I think, the same school with Saved by the Bell, and I think it's like a fictional school, so that's why it works. Then That's a Raven had a Random Rings. Search it up if you don't know. With Big City Greens.
Hello?
Well, hello there, Raven.
It's your Hollywood agent. I'm afraid you've been fired from your TV show.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, don't bother going to work. You've been replaced with a 10-year-old boy.
And then Big City Green had random rings with Phineas and Ferb, connecting them to the same universe. Then Phineas and Ferb had random rings with Hamster and Gretel, the new show by Dan Povenmire. That started like a few years ago or something. Yeah. They had a random rings, I think, with Miles Murphy's Law. Could be wrong. I think that's what happened. But Phineas and Ferb did have a crossover with Miles Murphy's Law. So, same universe there. Big City Green had random rings with DuckTales. So, DuckTales is in the same universe as Miles Murphy's Law and Raven, which, interesting. And then, then you have a spin-off show of the brother, I'm assuming. It's Cory in the House. Right here. Which, yeah. Now, we're in the cartoon part. Even though we already were. This is getting crazy. Okay? Phineas and Ferb crossover with Star Wars. Something happened with Star Wars and Phineas and Ferb.
Hey, Candace, why did you join the Empire?
Don't you remember anything from orientation? Rebels are cruel, heartless subhumans who are messing up the galaxy. And I am...
And it also crossed over with Marvel, which was all the way up there if you didn't see already. And Spider-Man, so yeah. So Phineas and Ferb connects Star Wars and Marvel. And then Phineas and Ferb had a small, like minimum, like the smallest possible cameo. Like there was like connection with Gravity Falls. Okay? Which connects Rick and Morty. Because in Gravity Falls, there was a scene where one of the characters, the Grunkle Stan, I think, no, it wasn't Grunkle Stan. It was his twin. And that threw a mug, a pen, and a notepad into a portal. And in an episode of Rick and Morty, those spat out of one of the portals. So that's the connection there. Okay. Now, Rick and Morty, if you go from Rick and Morty, okay? You'll never believe what this. Simpsons, bum 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 bum. The big clump of strings just piling off it. Ha. Okay. So, The Simpsons is connected through Rick and Morty through a couch gag they had a few years ago.
Oh my God, Morty, what did you do? You killed the Simpsons, Morty!
No,
And The Simpsons also had a crossover with Futurama and Family Guy, which, yeah. In the Family Guy one, The Simpsons and the Family Guy meet up because, like, yeah. And Simpsons and the Futurama characters go back into the past to stop and kill Homer because Bart did something that caused the future to go into an apocalypse using his DNA, radioactive fluids, and rabbit's foot, and all his DNA, the rabbit's DNA, formed into a being that took over the future. And that brings us to Futurama. Yeah, Futurama. Yeah. Now, from The Simpsons, we got Bob's Burger. Because, like, there's been many scenes. It's even stated in Treehouse of Horror 33 that they're in the same universe. Which, I know Treehouse of Horror isn't technically canon. I don't care. It's making it bigger. So with Treehouse of Horror 33, it connects the South Park, SpongeBob, where's the other one? Big Mouth, and yeah, Bob's Burger too. Big Mouth. Because, yeah, South Park also did include scenes with characters from The Simpsons, so that also brings the connection closer. The SpongeBob one is very minimum. You don't actually see SpongeBob, which is weird. So as this Big Mouth one. So, you know. And Bob's Burger crosses over with Archer in one scene or episode. I can't remember exactly, but they're connected. I know that. Okay, now back to Family Guy. Family Guy is connected to American Dad. There's been many scenes, not really crossover, more like cameos, you know. And then we got The Simpsons going to Futurama. Futurama had cameos in Disenchantment right here. And Disenchantment, yeah. Futurama also had Adventure Time in there. Adventure Time had a cameo in Futurama. One scene. They were hanging up in the jail cell.
What time is it?
Time for you to shut up!
And Adventure Time. We'll get to the Adventure Time Cartoon Network stuff later. Let's get to the next part. And Simpsons is connected to Alf through one scene that connects Star Wars too. Because The Simpsons is connected to Star Wars and Alf is connected to Star Wars through one scene directly from The Simpsons, where it's like they're all lined up, ready to get their mugshots, and it's like Chewbacca, Alf, other aliens, just all that stuff. And Star Wars is connected to E.T. through scenes in the newer movies. And one specific scene from E.T. where he looks at a kid in a Yoda mask and asks to go home. Something like that. And then Indiana Jones has a reference, like referencing it in like a hieroglyphic. Yeah, so Indiana Jones and Star Wars connected with E.T. So, same universe. Following along so far? I know this might not look like it makes sense, but trust me, it doesn't. Okay, now, The Simpsons is connected to the X-Files through a crossover they did before, like, I think it was before 2010 when they made that crossover. The Simpsons also had they had a cameo in Cheers, where Homer Simpson, I think, was kicked out of the bar. With Moe's. Something happened with Moe's, so he had to find a new bar to go to every night. So then he accidentally stumbled into the one from Cheers. So, yeah. And then The Simpsons had a crossover cameo. I'm not really sure which one you would classify it as, but The Prisoners. The British show The Prisoners. I know nothing of this show, other than it's connected to The Simpsons through an article I read. Okay, let's keep going. And then X-Files, right here, connects to The Wire. And, yeah. The Wire and the X-Files is in the same universe as Arrested Development. No. The X-Files, I didn't add this, but they are connected to the Oceanic Airlines. Right there. They're connected because they used it in one of their episodes. And due to that, it connects them to everything on this list right here. And that connects, like, literally most airlines. Like, most shows, like Survivor. I think Survivor. And then, if I can remember, this. And that concludes that part of the section. Okay, we're going down to the crazy stuff now. The craziest stuff now. Okay? The Simpsons Futurama goes to Adventure Time. Adventure Time is connected to the Cartoon Network multiverse. How is there a multiverse of the Cartoon Network universe? Like, all the shows ever made by Cartoon Network is in this multiverse. You wanna know how there's a multiverse? Okay, so, in OKKO, there was an episode called Crossover Nexus that had 3 other shows crossover with OKKO. Teen Titans Go had Raven. Ben 10 was Ben 10, and Steven Universe had Garnet. And they were all in OKKO's universe, battling some bad guy robots. Ben 10 turned into the forearms, and then his Omnitrix got stuck, like, taken away from him. So then he was stuck in that transformation the rest of the episode. Until he got it back. Which, in the end of the episode, it showed him using his thing, transforming into...
Spring break! Good morning!
Then, that connects the whole Cartoon Network multiverse. Okay. Yeah, let's see where we go. We got The Simpsons. Again, per usual, it's the thing that has the most wires going out of it. Other than, like, the other stuff. And then it connects to The Critic. Like, I think it only had 2 seasons. The Critic had 2 seasons. And it was in a 1990s episode of The Simpsons. Then, after all this, The Simpsons connects to Sesame Street. And then, Sesame Street and the Muppets have had multiple crossovers before. But, if you don't like how The Simpsons connects to the Sesame Street, I don't care. But also, valid point, I wouldn't trust that either. So, the Muppets right here is connected to Good Luck Charlie. I'll play the scene.
Would it have a home theater and an indoor pool?
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
And that connects Sesame Street from there, if you don't like how I have it set up here. Alright, now, let's go from there. Let's go down to the bottom stuff, where it gets crazy. Okay, guys, I'm down at the bottom, the lowest of low, of the most intense. Not some crazy stuff. Probably. It's up to your interpretation. But the Muppets is connected to Fraggle Rock. There was a Teen Titans show, Teen Titans Go episode, that was supposed to cross over Unikitty and Teen Titans Go. Unofficial, official, but still, I'm counting it. More the merrier. Which Unikitty connects to the Lego Movie. And the Lego Movie connects to the Lego Multiverse. So we got Ninjago, Nexus Knights, Chima, however you pronounce it. And right below, we got Lego Dimensions. Right down there. And you're wondering, what? Stan Lee? How does that connect? Arrested Development, one of his characters, predominantly wears blue paint. Blue, like, I think it was blue outfit, but that was supposed to be in Marvel Studios, in the MCU. Never happened, but there was some cameos of, like, objects, stuff like that, in there, so, plus, that's a plus. So, that connects Stan Lee, because Stan Lee in the MCU never had a name, I don't think, it ever said, like, his name and his character's name. That connects 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things, plus Teen Titans Go, if you want to really get technical about it. Okay, so Stan Lee was in the episode of Big Bang where Sheldon goes and does something, and his friends get to meet Stan Lee, have a whole party with him. Then he tracks him down at his house, finds him, knocks at his door, and asks if they can, like, hang out or something. I think Penny was the one that brought Sheldon to Stan Lee's house. So, Cool. And now, after all that, Stanley was in Big Hero 6. And then he was also in Pizza Man. Highly recommend that movie. You can find that on YouTube. Stanley was in there for one scene. And it was because Pizza Man, the main character, Matt, delivered him a pizza. Yeah, and then Stanley was in Kick-Ass. I'm not sure what scene this was in, how, why, when, anything about that, but yeah. Then he was also in the Mallrats, I guess, and yeah, I'm not sure about that one, but you know, cool that he did that. Oh yeah, and we got down here. Okay, Teen Titans Go crossed over with the superhero girls. DC superhero girls. And, OKKO had a cameo with Sonic, and Sonic is in Wreck-It Ralph, which means Wreck-It Ralph is connected to Pac-Man, and Pac-Man is in Pixels, so that connects Pixels into this movie, into this cinematic universe. Oh god. Okay, now, Teen Titans Go goes all the way up and connects to Scooby-Doo Where Are You? Which, I'm not sure if that was the exact show it was connected to, but it's connected to Scooby-Doo. And look how much stuff Scooby-Doo is connected to. This is not all of it. I have stuff all the way over there. Okay, it connects to Courage through a crossover, Johnny Bravo through a crossover. Addams Family. This one's a weird one.
There it is again!
And then Supernatural. Why would they do that? I mean, it makes sense because Scooby-Doo. But then, they also did a Hanna-Barbera crossover. And, yeah. Now, Johnny Bravo crossed over with the Flintstones, so that connects them. And, WrestleMania, there was a scene with John Cena in there. In Scooby-Doo, I think. Yeah. Not sure if any other wrestlers were in that. And, Scooby-Doo to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is connected to G.I. Joe. I forgot how and why, but then G.I. Joe was in Transformers. And the animated series, obviously, but, you know. Now, that's the lower half of the board completed. Okay, so this might be a little stretch because video games, but I already added Lego Dimensions, so it's fine. Okay, SpongeBob, right here, connects to All-Star Brawl. You know? Okay, All-Star Brawl. All-Star Brawl has Garfield, Lil Outhouse, and Danny Phantom. Also at the Avatar. Technically you would have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in there too. Cat and Dog. Other stuff. But like, most of that is already added anyway, so it wouldn't matter that much. So, and then, continue. Danny Phantom connects to Fairly Odd Parents. I forgot how, like, when they did this, how it occurred. Somehow it happened in a little short, I'm assuming, as I remember correctly. And then there was a crossover, 3-parter movie crossover thing with Jimmy Neutron. It was Jimmy Timmy Power Hour 1, 2, and 3. And, yeah. And then Bunsen is a Beast, crossover with Fairly Odd Parents. I think it was because they went through a portal, and then they found their way to Fairly Odd Parents. Yeah, something like that, but I don't know. Girl Meets World has a Wahoo Punch. Which iCarly and Victorious has in them. And iCarly and Victorious is connected to Sam and Cat because one character from each show split off and created their own sequel show. And Henry Danger is connected to Sam and Cat because Goomer, I think, was in Henry Danger. And then there was a character crossover, cameo, whatever. So blah blah blah. And Victorious had a crossover cameo thingy with Drake and Josh. Had a crossover thingy cameo with Unfabulous. Henry Danger is connected to Danger Force through just a sequel. It's a sequel show. Connected to Game Shakers through a crossover they did. And there was a specific scene I remember where one of the characters blows a bubble using his special bubble gum. And he gets a super suit. And they realize he's Henry Danger. And then they're allowed to go to the man cave. And then Henry Danger, Thundermans. It's always boring. These Henry Danger crossovers. They always go to Henry Danger. They never go to the other show. Whatever. It's fine. But Thundermans crossed over with Henry Danger. And there was one scene I specifically remember where they were fighting on a train. And Charlotte throws Captain Man Grenade onto the train. Whatever. And then Thundermans and the Haunted Holidays had a crossover where the Thundermans went to Chicago and they had to save the ghost people from the Green Ghoul because Thunderman was the only superhero that ever defeated the Green Ghoul ever in all of history of the universe. Which is interesting. Then iCarly is connected to Zoe 101. Easy enough. Now, Girl Meets World connected to Boy Meets World because Boy Meets World is a prequel show to Girl Meets World. So, if you think about it, because next, the TGIF universe. The TGIF universe. The crossover event. Okay, now we're getting into some crazy stuff. Like the epiphany, blah, 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 whatever. The epitome of intense stuff. Like, I don't even know if this will work. Kind of stuff. Okay, we have Phineas and Ferb right here from earlier. Is connected to Chippendale Rescue Rangers, the movie from 2022, because their mom is in the movie, like 3D animated, and Chippendale Rescue Rangers has all of this connected to it. And it has a scene where it has a little cameo from the cats from the Cats movies, and then there was a billboard showing Dobby from Harry Potter, like selling stuff. Also, Roger Rabbit, Who Framed Roger is in there, and yeah, that's the basic stuff. Then we'll go down. Monster vs. Aliens, Kung Fu Panda, The Smurfs are all connected into Chippendale Rescue Rangers. I'll explain the Smurf part later. But these two, Kung Fu Panda and Monster vs. Aliens, is in Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Because the Blob and the Mantis, the Blob from Monster vs. Aliens and Mantis from Kung Fu Panda was in Chippendale Rescue Rangers for one scene where they were all four characters that Seth Rogen voices in this movie are in one scene together. And that's what happens. They're all three. And then now that connects Walt Disney and everything that Disney ever made, because Chippendale Rescue Rangers is a Disney movie that basically has any crossover you want, any cameo. Even Sonic was in there. Ugly Sonic, but Sonic. And then you got Pokemon, Pink Panther, Peanuts, Real Monsters, and the Smurfs. They were in there too. Because there was one scene where they show a wall full of character parts. Like you know how you are customizing a character in a video game? It'd basically be like that, but with cartoon characters. It had the mouth from a monster from Real Monsters. It had the Smurf hat, I think. Yeah, the Smurf hat from the Smurfs. Pikachu's tail from Pokemon. Pink Panther's face, like mouth. And Snoopy's ears, I think. And then My Little Pony is connected because there was a scene where the ponies trample through the event that's happening. Now you're wondering, Full House. Full House is connected. Full House is connected to Chippendale Rescue Rangers because there was a scene, one scene where it explained how Chippendale were in an episode of Full House as like a little gig. Not technically canon, but I'm counting it. But Family Matters, it had a crossover with Full House. Yeah. And they also had a crossover with Scooby-Doo. With Scooby-Dooby-Doo. And Scooby-Doo. Same universe, Scooby-Doo. And the 2020 movie had Simon Cowell. And Simon Cowell was in Shrek. Where they had a far, far away idol. Far, far away idol. Where it was like Americans Got Talent, but Shrek. And then I'm not really sure if these two connect because I'm not even sure if they're real. But Bratz and Postman Pat have Simon Cowell in them, in there somewhere. Not voiced by Simon Cowell, but still in there. Then we get to Scooby-Doo, back to Scooby-Doo, and then Scooby-Doo is connected to Batman, because they had a crossover. Then Batman had a crossover with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And this is where it gets crazy. I forgot to add this part onto the board, but it's still there. The Ghostbusters is connected to the Ghostbusters. And then if we go up a little higher, we can see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles connects to the Power Rangers. And DC connects because Batman, obviously. Obviously. Now, we get to the part I didn't add. DC had a crossover with, the first crossover they ever did with Marvel was through, the Wizard of Oz. I think that somehow they did a crossover with the Wizard of Oz. And the Wizard of Oz had a crossover with Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry had a crossover with Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka is connected to this universe with Tom and Jerry. Now I've explained everything on this board. It's like 100 items on here, collectively. So, yeah. The Avatar is connected to the same universe as Shrek, I guess, and Power Rangers. Screw it. Come on. Rick and Morty's there too. So, like, if I ever see an episode where Jesse and Rick and Morty and, let's say, Phineas and Ferb, they all had a crossover, I would not be surprised. Like, even if the Muppets showed up halfway through, I would not be surprised. Because they're all connected. They're all connected. Everything's connected. And that means Henry Danger and Girl Meets World and Liv and Maddie, same universe. Same universe as Batman and Marvel. All of Marvel and DC connected. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it?